All right, guys, so we are on week one. So let me know how you're feeling. Are you a little bit anxious about this journey, or are you excited? Do you feel like you're going to succeed? Or do you feel like, oh, this is going to be one of those things that I've tried 100 times? Okay. How many of you are professional dieters? I want you to get that out of your head. Okay. We are no longer dieting. We are working on health. Okay. When I look at the word diet, I see the first three letters, and that is die. And when I think of the word health, I think of the first four letters, and that is heal. So I want you to get to the point that everything that you eat, you are looking at it and you're going to say, is this going to hurt me? Or is this going to heal me? If you can look at that food and you can honestly say, this is going to heal my body and this is going to help me to get my goals, reach my goals, then eat it. Okay. If you can look at that donut and it says, no, this is not going to help me to get my goals and it's not going to help my body to heal, then those are the things that we're going to go away from. Okay. So everyone who is on this coaching site, a requirement is that you are doing a box of the Slenderiiz drops. Okay. There is a reason why I want you to do this, and that is because for years, okay, so these are not new. These were created in 2011. Dr. Ray Strand, he actually did a clinical study of 9,000 people. And you will notice that in the booklet that came with your drops, there is a food list. It's right in the middle. Okay. I want you to memorize this thing. It's very easy to do. It's basically your proteins, a few fruits, and your vegetables. Okay. When you get that, you'll have it. Okay. So don't overthink that. Um, but what happened with that clinical study was they had half the people that were just doing foods, good healthy foods. And yes, they released weight, because I get that question all the time. If I just eat those foods, will I lose weight? Yes, you will. However, when they did the clinical study, what they found was the fact that the people who did the food list and the drops that were helping to balance their hormones, those people had 2 times the weight loss as someone who was just following the food alone. So that makes a huge difference. And that is why I am recommending and requiring, if you're doing this coaching, you need to be on a box of drops, whether you get them from me or another distributor or your doctor or whoever, you do need to be doing that, because it is very important to help to balance that. Okay. So now let's go over the drops and what they're doing. Drop number one, that is helping with your metabolism. It's going to help curb your appetite. It's going to help with your insulin resistance. That is this bottle here, okay? Drop number one, you are taking 3 times a day, and you will find that one of the bottles has a number one on it, one has a number two on it. You may want to take a black permanent marker and write it really, really big if you're blind like me. So again, drop number one, you're taking 3 times a day before meals. So that's at breakfast, before lunch, before dinner. You're going to put 0.7 milliliters underneath your tongue. Now I know the next question is, but when I open it up, it doesn't have 0.7 milliliters. It has 0.75 milliliters. I don't know why they did that. I wish I did. So this is what I'm recommending. Okay, you see the ml right here. Oops, can't touch it. But you see the 0.75 and the ml. Just go to the bottom of that L. That's going to be a very close guesstimate of where 0.7 milliliters is. Okay. Put it underneath your tongue, because that is where it's going to be absorbed the best. Then 10 minutes later, you're going to take drop number two. Drop number two has got B12 in it. It's got ashwagandha in it. So it's going to give you energy, and it's also going to help with your mood, and it also decreases your cortisol levels. Okay, so all of those are really, really important. You only take drop number two twice a day, because the B12 does give you energy. And how many of you are wanting extra energy? Okay, which is a good thing. But you don't want to take it at dinner, because then it might affect your sleep. Okay. Now I have been on these drops for probably 12, 13, 15 months now is what I've been on them. I started last June and I started having hot flashes. Like, I'm almost 50 years old and I finally experienced that hot flash. I don't know if any of you are experiencing hot flashes, but I thought, oh my goodness, this is the thing that all the women have been complaining about my entire life. And now I have experienced it. And so within 2 weeks of me taking my drops, and no, I was not trying to release weight. And some of you are on here and you're not trying to release weight. You've just got whacked out hormones like I did. and you're just trying to get balanced. Okay. So I took the drops for 2 weeks, and all of a sudden my hot flashes went away. And I thought, well, that wasn't bad. I can handle that. So I stopped my drops. Okay. I will have to say that about a week later, they all came back again with a vengeance. So I started my drops again and they went away. And I thought, oh, these things really do work for hot flashes. So there's more than one health benefit. Some people are using these to help release weight. Some of them are trying to balance their hormones. There's so many different health benefits. Okay. So you take advantage of them for sure. Um, but drop number two, again, you're only taking twice a day. And this is my recommendation when you are taking your drops. When you first get on it, it can be hard to make sure that you're getting them 3 times a day. So my recommendation is get your cell phone and set an alarm on your phone 3 times a day as a reminder. Okay. Now, let's say that you forget anyway. Okay. As soon as you think about it, I know life gets busy. As soon as you think about it, then go ahead and get them in your system if you do forget. Okay. It's going to work best if you take these on an empty stomach because there's going to be able to absorb in your body better. So, from experience, I'm going to tell you what I've done. My morning dose, it was no big deal. I hadn't had anything to eat all night. I had an empty stomach. So I take them immediately as soon as I wake up. And then I fix my breakfast. And about 10 minutes later, after I'm fixing my breakfast and everything, I'm ready for drop number two. Then I can eat and drink as normal. Then lunchtime would come, and I was notorious. I would get busy. Okay. So I would take drop number one, and then I'm like, okay, I'll fix my lunch. And then all of a sudden I would start eating, and I thought, oh, shoot, I forgot to take drop number two. Okay. So now instead of doing it that way, I will normally set an alarm on my phone an hour before normally eating. So let's say I eat lunch at 12. I set an alarm on my phone at 11 o'clock because I'm not thinking about food then. And so that way I'll take drop number one. 10 minutes later, I take drop number two, and then I'm done. And then at 12 o'clock, when I am ready to eat lunch, I can eat and drink as normal. And I don't have to think about taking my drops. Did I get them in? Yes. Did I have an empty stomach? Yes. Okay. Same thing for dinner time. We typically have supper about 5:30. I will find myself taking them at 4 o'clock because I'm going to start fixing supper probably about 5, and I'm not eating or drinking anything at 4 o'clock. So again, I have an empty stomach, and then at supper time, I can just eat and drink normal and I'm not having to think about it. One of the other health benefits that you're probably going to find on there is that it really helps with sleep. And that was a big benefit for me too. I probably went 20 years without sleeping through the night. And how often or how many days can you go without a good night's sleep before you're starting to feel it? Okay. So, one, be consistent, be persistent, be dedicated. Those are the things that you need to be doing for the next 8 weeks to be able to make sure that you are getting your best success. Okay. Now we're also going to be talking about the food list. Now, again, you have the food list that comes with your drops, and the food list is right there in the middle. Also, if you will look at this food list, you will find helpful hints. Like there might be different products that will help you. There will be things about, like portion size and all those good things. Those are all in here to help you. Okay, so make sure that you thoroughly read this. There's a lot of good information in there. One of the other things that I want to let you know is, yes, I will be talking about different supplements that Partner Co has and that we may recommend for certain issues that you may be experiencing. I never want you to pay the full price on that. Okay. So if you see anything in here that you are wanting, let me know so that I can get you the membership, and that way you get the 30% off of all the products, because none of them are cheap. Okay. And I try to be very frugal with everyone because I know health can be expensive, but it's also an investment. It's something that you will never regret. Now let's talk about your foods. Okay. There's going to be lots of proteins. On the Slenderiiz program, you can eat animal proteins, you can eat plant proteins, okay? They are both good, but you want to make sure that you're getting really good protein. Protein is going to add to your muscle mass, and if you can get your muscle percentage up, you're going to be able to keep your weight off long term, which is a big thing, okay? There's only two proteins that we do not allow on the Slenderiiz list, and that would be pork and soy, okay? Now, I know a lot of you are not going out to the grocery store and just buying soy, okay? But if you start looking at the ingredients in the back of cans and boxes, all these processed foods, you will probably find that you have actually been getting a lot of soy. And soy and corn, both of those foods, are two of the most genetically modified foods out there. So you definitely want to stay away from that. Also, look at your other supplements. Do you have soy in your other vitamins? That's important. You want to stay away from those, okay? So again, make sure that you're sticking to your proteins. What I have always recommended with your protein is try to get 100 grams of protein daily if you're someone who likes to count all that. If you have kidney issues and you have been told by your doctor to decrease your amount of protein that you're getting daily, then what you want to do is actually take your body weight, your current body weight, multiply it by 0.36, and that's going to give you a new goal for your personal protein that you have there. Vegetables. You will find in that booklet that there are a very small amount of vegetables on there. And the only reason is because for some reason they couldn't put 20,000 vegetables that God created in this little booklet here. So just know that any of your vegetables are going to be good. Anything green is even better. You get bonus points for those. But there are three vegetables that I want you to stay away from, and that's corn, beets, and potatoes. Okay, so I gave you 20,000 to choose from. Those are the only three that I'm telling you to stay away from. And the reason is because those are higher on the glycemic index scales. So those are the vegetables that are actually increasing your blood sugars. And my goal for you for the next 8 weeks is for you to experience how your blood sugars have actually balanced out. Now, you will also find in the food list where it talks about the approved fruits here. That box got really, really small, okay? And the reason is because fruit have sugar in them, okay? So the fruits that are actually in this booklet, those are going to be your low glycemic fruits, meaning these are the ones that are not elevating your blood sugars like other fruits will. Not to ever say that all fruits are bad for you or anything else. Not to say that potatoes and corn, those are bad for you. They're not. If God created them, they're good for you. But right now, our number one goal is let's balance out the blood sugars so that we can release weight and balance our hormones out at the same time. All right, so a big deal is condiments, okay? I don't know about you, but anytime my kids have ever put ketchup on their plate, especially when they were little, it wasn't just a little teeny tiny squirt. It looked like they were like crossing the Red Sea with the ketchup, okay? So you need to make sure that you're looking at the ingredients in your condiments because a lot of those are going to be high in sugar or even artificial sweeteners like sucralose, aspartame is in a lot of stuff. Equal, Splenda, those are things that you want to stay away from. I recommend that when you're looking at the sugar content, that the condiments should have 2 grams of sugar or less. Now, things that you can add to your foods is like horseradish, picante sauce, salsa, Tabasco, mustard, pickle relish. That'd be dill pickle relish, not sweet pickle. Olives, coconut aminos. That would be a good substitute for soy sauce. And I think you will appreciate that. That one's really good too. I do want to make sure that you're getting good, healthy fats. Okay. So coconut oil is a really good, healthy fat that I recommend there. And this is going to be something that's going to actually help with your immune system. It's going to help with better digestion. It's really good for your hair, your skin, and your nails. You need the healthy fats to help release fat. And a lot of people don't realize that. But think of your fats or your sugars, think of those as your two fuels. So if I put in sugar in my body constantly, then my body is going to burn sugar. But if I don't put in the sugar, and I'm putting in healthy fats, my body's going to burn fat. So it's your choice. Do you want to burn sugar? Or do you want to burn fat? Okay. The coconut oil is also really good for your body to absorb vitamins and minerals and nutrients. There's other healthy fats that you can do, and it's in the booklet, but you can do avocado, you can do chia seeds, you can do raw pumpkin seeds, you can do raw walnuts. All of those would be perfectly fine. If you are needing help with a good detox, or even if you have constipation issues, you can actually use unrefined coconut oil, put it in some warm lemon water in the mornings, and that actually has a natural laxative effect. Now, it shouldn't be crazy or anything like that, but it does have some laxative benefits for that too. Your herbs and your spices, do not be scared of those. Now, what I do want you to be scared of is the packets, okay? So if you are buying your herbs and spices and it's in a little packet at the grocery store, you need to be checking the ingredients in that, because it's probably going to have like maltodextrin and some starches and everything else in there. You want to stay away from those. So if you have some herbs and spices that you are personally buying, or maybe they're in your garden, use those. They all have health benefits to them. Like cinnamon is going to naturally balance your blood sugars. There's a lot of different herbs out there that actually helps with inflammation too. So there's all with, I want you to look at your herbs and spices as your pharmacy. And when I say pharmacy, I'm thinking FARM, pharmacy. Okay. I want you to have a good schedule, a good routine. Do not skip your meals. This is not a starvation diet, okay? If you start skipping meals and you're not eating and that's how you're losing weight, your body is eventually going to go into starvation mode and it's going to stop. It's going to stop releasing weight because it doesn't know when you're going to give it its next meal, okay? And so it slows down on you. So you may even find that you are eating more than what you ever have, but your body is releasing weight, okay? Um, there's some approved sweeteners that are actually mentioned here in the booklet under sweeteners there. It's got the stevia drops, it has monk fruit. Some other things that I personally like to use is xylitol. Now, if you have animals in the home, you want to make sure that they don't get a hold of the xylitol, just because it actually decreases their blood sugars and they don't have the ability to raise their blood sugars like we do. So it is dangerous for animals. So I just want to let you know that for sure. One of the ingredients that you will find in your processed foods, in fast foods and everything else, is maltodextrin. And so maltodextrin is going to be an additive, and a lot of times you will find me teaching based on the glycemic index scale. So if I had a patient back in the day, and they were either pre-diabetic or if they were diabetic, and, we would tell them stay away from your sugar, your potatoes, your white rice, your flours, all those things, because it would increase their blood sugars. So I would have patients and they're like, oh, I still want my cookies. So they would go to the grocery store and they would go in there and they would find sugar-free cookies because that was a better choice, right? Well, unfortunately, what they have in the sugar-free cookies is this additive called maltodextrin. When we look at the glycemic index scale, sugar is a 60. I'm telling you to stay away from that. Well, unfortunately, maltodextrin is 140, but it doesn't have to be labeled as sugar on the package. So it's what is it doing to your body after the fact, okay? If you are using one of these sweeteners that are listed in your booklet, if you're trying to make a recipe, if you have a recipe that you are trying to convert, and let's say it called for a cup of sugar, do not use a cup of your approved sweeteners to do that, okay? Let's decrease it by half, okay? You will thank me later, I promise you. Also check your gum. There's like xylitol gum that you can get, lots of different things that you can do there. So I told you earlier, you want to be getting about 100 grams of protein every single day. I do recommend that you are getting about 30 minutes of exercise daily. Some of you are not to the point where you can exercise yet. Maybe you need to do chair exercises, and that's fine. Maybe you need to split that 30 minutes up. So can you take a walk for 10 minutes in the morning? Can you take a 10-minute walk at lunch and a 10-minute walk in the evening? 10 plus 10 plus 10. Did you exercise 30 minutes today? Yes, you did. And congratulations. Okay. And you will find as your body gets healthier, you're going to want to exercise more. Also, I recommend doing half of your body weight in ounces of water daily. Okay. That's going to help flush your system. It helps with the detox and everything else. You will find, this is very, very typical, when you start on the drops and you start taking in the healthy foods, for the first week, your body may feel sluggish. Okay. And what is going on is you are actually going through a detox. So you may have headaches, you may feel sluggish, you may have body aches, like it feels like literally like you have the flu of some type. You are going through, it's literally called a detox flu. The best thing that you can do is keep on, flush with lots and lots of water, drink lots and lots of water. Okay, that's going to be number one, and give it time because your body has to rid all of that junk. And I promise you, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train. It's going to get better. Okay, within about a week or so, you're going to have a lot more energy. You're going to be feeling better, and that's just part of the journey. Okay, but you do need to stay with it. Um, you will find in the booklet, there is no dairy. What on earth? Like I used to be part squirrel and part mouse. As long as I had my dairy and my nuts, like I was a happy girl, okay? The reason there is not dairy listed in the food list is because it is a huge hormone disruptor, okay? Now, some of you may have come on here and you've been doing the keto program or something like that, and there's cheese, cheese, cheese everywhere, okay? We're staying away from that, and you will find a huge difference. So you might want to use coconut oil. You can use ghee, which is clarified butter. And the reason we allow the clarified butter, the ghee, is because the lactose has been removed from that. And so you're not getting those OS words. I like to say OS is gross. So things like sucrose, fructose, lactose, any of those OS words, those are going to increase the sugars in our body, and which is also going to increase our inflammation long term. So we definitely want to stay away from that. All right, my coffee drinkers. It's actually best for you to take coffee out of your diet. I know you just got ready to turn this thing off, okay? Not saying you have to take it out, but I'm saying it will be best if you take it out of your diet. Roasted coffee is very acidic and it can actually interfere with the homeopathy, and our drops are homeopathic. If you have to add or have to take that coffee, you want to add about a teaspoon of coconut oil to it, and that will help to balance the acidity level. You can use that. You can put a little bit of ghee in there if you're missing your creamer. There's nut pods that you can use, but if you can make sure that you last a little bit longer in between your drops in your coffee, you'll find that your drops will work at the best level there. Okay. A good detox in the morning. You can do warm lemon water, which is basically you can take a half a lemon and put that in some warm water. And a lot of times people replace their coffee with this because they don't necessarily want the coffee. They just like the warmth. Okay. It's just part of their routine. But that would be really good for digestion. It's going to be antiviral. It's going to be antibacterial. It's great for your organs. It's going to boost your immune system. So lots of good benefits with that. Now, there's some other supplements that I would recommend if you're on this journey. One of them that I love to do is the Pure Nourish shake. That is a protein shake, but it also has probiotics and prebiotics in it. So it's helping to heal my gut at the same time. And I like to put the boost with it. So there's a chocolate boost and there's an orange boost. The chocolate boost, that is the one that is going to increase your metabolism. And it's also going to increase your muscle mass because it's got branched chain amino acids in it. There's an orange beauty boost, and that has biotin in it. So that one's really good for your hair, skin, and your nails. So maybe you're just wanting a flavoring to put in your water. I like to put the orange beauty boost in there. But you normally will take the Boost and you combine it with the Pure Nourish, and that will be a meal replacement. And I like to put just the unsweetened almond milk in there. Okay. We do not want to do any dairy milk at the same time. So if you are switching your milks over, that's going to be the unsweetened vanilla almond milk that you can use. Okay. Some other things that you may want to add to your daily regimen are optimals, and that's 2 bottles. That is a vitamin and a mineral. So the vitamins, we take 3 of those at one time. The minerals, we take 2 at one time, just because we're looking for cellular nutrition, okay? And they call it optimals because it is your optimal nutrition that you need. I look at the supplements that we have as tools in my tool belt, okay? I can eat food, healthy foods all day long. Unfortunately, the vitamins and minerals are not in there that used to be 200 years ago because they're not in our soil. That's been diminished there. So I like to personally make sure that I take a good quality vitamin and mineral. If you have one that you're already taking, then I want you to look at the ingredients, make sure it doesn't have soy in it, make sure it doesn't have magnesium stearate in it, okay? Because if it does, your body is not able to absorb what it actually says is on the bottle, and that can make a difference. So that's going to be the number one thing. This week, I need you to do your weights, and I would also like for you to do your measurements. So your measurements are going to be at the widest part of your bust, right at your belly button, and the widest part of your hips. And those would be the places that you could actually do that. So go ahead and take those inches, write them down, send them to me, and then we're going to compare them every single week because I've got men and women on here, okay? But I will have to say, when I look at the men and women, I always have to remind the women, especially if they're married, okay? Because women have to be strict. It takes us longer than the men to do anything. Okay. So I always say my men are like microwaves and my women are like crock pots. So sometimes you just need the fact that, oh, maybe my weight didn't change this week, but my inches decreased. And that gives you just the motivation to go to the next step. Okay. So make sure that you turn those numbers into me this week. And if you have any questions whatsoever, you let me know how I can help you. All right, guys. So until next week, make good choices.